All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a feeling so many of us know, but we don't really have a good word for it, right? It's that preference for your own company. Now, society loves to slap a label on it. Antisocial. But what if that's completely wrong? What if choosing to be alone isn't some kind of social flaw, but actually a sign of some rare psychological strength? Today, we're going to flip that script and explore how choosing solitude isn't about escaping life. It's actually a pretty brilliant strategy your brain uses to protect its most precious resource, your energy.
So, does this whole scenario ring a bell? The text comes in, your friends, people you genuinely like, are going out tonight. But that first feeling you get, it's not excitement, is it? It's this sudden wave of exhaustion. So you send that polite no thanks text, and then boom, that weird, creeping guilt starts to set in. You find yourself asking, what is wrong with me? Why would I rather be with my own thoughts than with people who actually care about me?
And that feeling, right there, is the heart of it. It's not really about the people, it's about the performance. It's about the energy it takes to put on that social mask and just be on for a few hours. That's real work. It's emotional labor. And if this quote hits you right where you live, then trust me, you are in exactly the right place.
So here's the big idea, the main takeaway we need to start with. We have to completely reframe this experience. That pull towards the quiet life isn't a weakness. It's not a sign you're doomed to be some kind of hermit. Psychology actually suggests something way deeper, and honestly, way more interesting is going on. It's a powerful sign of a highly complex and analytical mind just doing its thing. Okay, first up, let's talk about the simple, but huge, fact that your mind, well, it never really logs off. If you're a deeply analytical person, your brain is never truly off, and that has a massive impact on how you deal with the social world.
There's this fantastic term for it, metacognition, and it's literally the process of thinking about your own thoughts. Think of it like this. Your brain's got like a dozen browser tabs open, all at once, all the time. So you're not just in a conversation, you're analyzing it, you're deconstructing your part in it, and you're processing what it all means from like 5 different angles.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? Look at the contrast here. On the surface, it's just small talk. But inside your head, it's a totally different story. You're not just hearing the words, you're sensing the little shifts in tone, you're mentally scrolling through past conversations to see how this fits, you're decoding all this subtext. Yeah, that's not just multitasking, that's a one-way ticket to cognitive burnout. And that is exactly why being alone feels so good, so restorative. It's not some empty void you're escaping to. It's the quiet room you absolutely need to finally hear yourself think. It's where all the noise, all the static from everyone else's lives finally cuts out, and your own signal can come through, loud and clear.
All right, let's jump to the second big idea here, and this one is so fundamental. It's all about this deep psychological need for autonomy, for having control over your own space and your own energy. And for a lot of people, this isn't just a nice to have, it's a need to have.
I mean, think about it. Any social plan, there's always this invisible layer of negotiation going on, isn't there? Where are we going? When do we meet? How long are we going to stay? For someone who puts a really high value on their independence, that constant low-key compromising can feel like you're just slowly losing control over your own time and your own internal battery.
And you know what? There's actually a name for that feeling, that internal pushback. It's called psychological reactance. It's basically your brain's automatic defense system kicking in when it feels like it's being controlled. It's why even a friendly suggestion can sometimes feel like a demand. So choosing your own company, it's not about being difficult. It's a way of keeping your own world in balance. And a lot of the time, this fierce need for control is something that got wired into us way, way back. If you grew up having to figure out your big emotions on your own, you basically became your own support system. And when you learn, really learn, that you are the most reliable person in your life, then being alone as an adult doesn't feel like loneliness. It feels like coming home. Okay, on to our third reason. And this one is about a very specific kind of social burnout. It's the exhaustion you feel from reading the entire room, not just the words people are saying. It's about sensing all the things that are left unsaid and the toll that takes on you. This comparison just lays it out so perfectly. While everyone else is just hearing the words, you're sensing the dissonance, right? That gap between a friendly compliment and what feels like an unspoken motive, between someone saying everything is fine and the fakeness you can just feel behind the mask. That kind of emotional detective work is unbelievably draining. So what's the long-term effect of all this? Your brain learns a very simple, very powerful lesson. People equal hard work.
people can equal stress. So your preference for being alone isn't you trying to avoid connection. It's your own boundaries finally waking up. It's your system basically saying, hey, I need to recharge before I can even think about processing the world again. So let's pull all these threads together now. You've got a mind that's always on, a deep need for your own autonomy, and this hyper-awareness of everything going on around you. These are not character flaws. No way. They are the building blocks of a quiet superpower, internal validation.
I mean, look around. Our whole culture is practically built on screaming for external validation. The likes, the shares, the public praise. But you've been quietly building something way more durable. Your sense of self-worth isn't up for a vote. It doesn't need an audience or a round of applause to be real. It's just as strong in a quiet room as it is on a crowded stage.
And that right there brings us to the absolute heart of it all. This quote, man, it just says everything. This was never about rejecting people. It's about rejecting the noise. You are making a conscious and, I think, very wise choice to pick quality of connection over the empty calories of just getting a ton of attention.
So if any of this today felt like I was reading a page from your own private journal, I want this final thought to really sink in deep down. You are not broken. You are not weird, and you are definitely not antisocial. You have built this incredible internal fortress that allows you to feel safe and centered and whole all by yourself. That isn't a weakness. That is a masterpiece of psychological strength.
Just understanding this is the first step to finally letting go of years of guilt you never should have carried in the first place. The old question was always, what's wrong with me? The new question, the real question, is this. Now that you know where it comes from, now that you recognize it as a strength, what are you going to do with your quiet power?